KNTK.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket.
Gather round. This is the Ticket Water Cooler. Brought to you by Culligan of Lincoln.
You need to be more like a dog. We don't need a bunch of cats in here.
Yeah. Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
On air and online at theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Jake Bakoven and Nathan Brennan.
If we had 22 Janos, we would be all right.
It's like a little throwback to get you going here on a Thursday, Thirsty Thursday. This is the Ticket Water Cooler here on 93.7 The Ticket. The reason why I brought that one back is because I heard a similar quote today, as there are a few different players getting a lot of run from the post-practice press conferences from a few of the coaches, Bill Busch, Barrett Ruud, Brian Applewhite, all speaking today. And if you remember, and I don't know, do you know too much about Andy Janovich, fullback now in the league?
Not too much, no.
Well, he was very much beloved in Nebraska. He's the typical story of a walk-on, born and raised here in Nebraska.
Right.
And so the Denver Broncos, when he was with the Broncos coach, had this to say about him.
If we had 22 Janos, we would be all right.
We would be all right. So that's what you like to hear. You need that type of mentality in the locker room. And today, Brian Applewhite had this to say of Ramir Johnson: if we could have 120 kids that have his attitude, then you'd have something special. So there we go. Ramir Johnson,
nice. Maybe
the next Andy Janovich, at least as far as it's important to the team and dedication to his craft of football. By the way, celebrate, everybody. You're here. There's football tonight. We've made it. I know it's just the Hall of Fame game, and the Hall of Fame is always fun, but this game always does a little bit something to you. You get excited. You see the kickoff, and then like 3.5 minutes, you're kind of bored, and you're like, well, we need regular season football now, but still, football's back.
That's why I'm saying, Bach, it's not back yet. Hold your horses. I think we can't officially say it's back until college football kicks off. And luckily, college football this year will kick off with Nebraska. Not the first game, obviously, but week 0. So it will kick off with Nebraska. It's just, if the NFL started just week 1 and this wasn't a preseason game or an exhibition game or what, I don't even know what they consider this now, to be honest with you.
Preseason.
Is it considered a preseason? Because I think if for some reason it's like an exhibition. I don't even think it counts as one in your preseason record.
I think it
or at least last
Why
year.
Wouldn't it?
I know. No, that's why this game is so weird to me, because I think for some reason, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just losing myself. But
yeah,
it doesn't
are you
start,
doing your homework?
It doesn't start until Nebraska kicks off and Ramir Johnson lays somebody out on the 14-yard line. I don't know who's the kick returner for Northwestern, whoever that may be. But it sounds like Ramir Johnson's figured it out. He's going to lead the special teams, one of the best special teams in the country, alongside Bill Busch. Seems like a great special teams coordinator up to this point. I mean, like, at least he's saying the right things. And sounds like we're going to have a completely different restructured special teams. There are going to be a lot of guys that, for the most part, you're not used to seeing on special teams this year. Starters.
Linebackers.
Offensive
players. Nobody's off limits.
I'm telling you, for everyone that has been doubting this football team, doubting this offseason, I hear you. I understand you. And I know that this is just coach speak, and it is what it is. It's got to get you excited. You know what else is going to get you excited? Update everyone on the text line, 402-464-5685. You can congratulate me if you want, because I am officially a Nebraskan. I've gotten my Nebraska driver's license. It has the sandhills. It's got some cranes on it.
It's not as cool as the old one.
It looks awesome. It's the coolest license I've ever had in my life. And you know what? That means that not only am I back, Nebraska football is back. Special teams is going to be a strength for this team this year, and it's time to start drinking the Kool-Aid. It's time to start going officially 7-5, Buck. Let's hear it. Everyone give him a round of applause. Officially, come on.
I think Bob Devaney just rolled over in his grave.
I know.
Doesn't want to hear that.
No, because I know your biggest doubts this year have been offensive line and special teams, rightfully so, outside of Scott Frost. I know that's obviously number one. That goes without saying. If you've listened to the water cooler, that's obviously box number 1. But a close number 2 is special teams and offensive line. Offensive line, what did Raiola said? Take his head off or something like that?
Yeah.
You're going to have to check out Nick's tweet. So I'm buying the offensive line. Give me the offensive line any day of the week. It sounds like special teams, for what it's worth, maybe it won't look better On the field, we really don't know, but at least they're trying. The problem last year, I feel like, with the special teams, correct me if I'm wrong, Bach, but this has probably been the case for a lot of Scott Frost tenure because they've been terrible. It's almost like they didn't even try and make adjustments. They didn't even try and change.
Oh, they gave up by the end of
That's
the year.
the thing is, like, maybe it won't look better on the field, and maybe we're just getting excited for absolutely no reason, but at least there's an effort. At least we're trying, right? I mean, you're throwing starters out there. You have guys that are buying into special teams for the first time, and it seems like a while. Let's go. Let's buy it. I'm buying Nebraska special teams this year.
Well, and so today was certainly the day to start the buy-in because you've got Bill Busch up there at the podium saying all types of stuff, and we'll get to some of his quotes here today here in the next few minutes, and we'll play some of that back for you. But I mean, there's a lot of reasons, a lot of stuff, lot of tidbits out of this post-practice interview to get you fired up.
Yeah.
And it makes you kind of remind you too, man, these guys doing such a great job throwing Mickey Joseph, all those like interviews that they had. They're not going to talk during the season, man. I mean, these assistant coaches are great at firing you up and getting you going.
And I know we're going to get a lot of pushback on the text line. Also, I want to thank everyone who said, I had someone say, welcome to Lemon Family. Shout out to the Lemon Family. I appreciate you guys. Thomas and Lincoln, unfortunately, agrees with me. Fortunately for you, you're agreeing with me because you've got 10-3. You're buying the Kool-Aid. Eric says that I'm going to have a come to Jesus moment with Jay Foreman tonight. So I don't know if that means that he found out. Because if he found out, I don't want to get called out on the spot because then it's going to be a lot of pressure. I'm not very good in the clutch. Never have
It's
been.
not like you said you'd beat him in a fight.
That is true. No, I've not said by any means I can beat him in a fight. We're just saying he's better at bench pressing. So it sounds like he probably found out.
His bare hands.
Right, and I'm not disagreeing with that. I am fully aware of that. That is not our competition. This is strictly bench pressing. So sounds like he found out. We'll have our own beef tonight. We'll deal with that. Thank you again, everyone, for saying thank you for bringing Nebraska back. See Money, you're welcome. I like to single-handedly take credit for that. The coaching staff, the players, all of that. Like, yes, they were very good in supporting me.
Instrumental, yeah.
They were very instrumental in supporting me and bringing Nebraska back. No, all jokes aside, this is the time that we put the offseason champs to rest because it's actually going to show up on the football field. I believe. I just... Like, I know, and I get it. It's coach speak. You guys have heard it before. I've heard it before. You can go to any team in the country. You can look at Georgia Southern and North Dakota right now, who are going to get probably walloped by Nebraska here come week 1 and 2. But their coaches are probably saying the same things. But when it's just a consistent pattern of not only trying to make it better, but seeming like you basically don't care that it's losing you game after game after game, nothing got changed. No adjustments were made. At least there's an effort, and that has to make you excited.
Yeah, well, they don't.
And I know it makes you excited. I see that glimmer in your eye, Bach. I can see the hope.
You don't get A's for effort in college football. You got to go out there and win the games. But no doubt that it is time to drink the Kool-Aid. I mean, the game here, 3 weeks away or whatever it is, and I heard there's $30 tickets for the North Dakota game. So
nice.
that's the getting price.
There you
It's
go.
a little bit cheaper than I ever thought I'd see it at Memorial Stadium, but times are changing. I mean,
we'll take it.
It's just kind of strange. Yeah. I like all the flack going back and forth on Nebraska Twitter with Iowa Twitter, congratulating them on selling out 7 games this year. Of course, Nebraska has their selling streak going well beyond that. Let's say,
right.
For decades and decades and decades. But so it's all part of the fun. And I do mean this as we've kind of had our off-season banter, and admittedly, I'm not drinking as much Kool-Aid because I've had it. It's been 4 years. I want to see progress on the field.
He's had enough
off-season national championships. But at the same time, it's tradition, guys. Drink some Kool-Aid. I mean, it's August. The football season's around the corner. These guys are going. I don't want to get. It was kind of funny because last year when DP was coming in, we were all basically saying, just get to 6-6. We need a bowl game this year. Of course, it didn't happen, whatever the case, but DP was just befuddled by our goals, collectively as Nebraska fan base. A lot of people was just like, yeah, just make it to a bowl game and you're on the right track. And he said it never should be your goal to be 6-6. And I agree with that. I mean, that's as difficult as a place as you may be. I mean, there's certain teams, I suppose, right now.
Right.
if you finish, usually you'd say if you finish 3-9, 6-6 would be a pretty good jump. But obviously, they're expecting more out of the team this year, and we'll see. I mean, 6 wins still could do it. We'll kind of see how that plays out as we move on here. But let's get to enough from me and Nate. You hear a lot from me and Nate, so let's get to some of what Bill Busch had to say today. Let's start with how they are using Ramir Johnson. We talked a little Ramir Johnson to get go because he seems to be the star on special teams thus far. Really just going to be a valuable weapon everywhere. I mean, you hear, gunner, front line on kickoffs, slot receiver, running back, all those things. So here's Bill Busch talking about Ramir Johnson today.
Well, Ramir is and however you want to put it, he's an ascending football player, but he's a core. He's a leader. He's part of core 4 of everything we do. And he just says, yes, sir. And does everything correctly at full speed. I just have so much respect for Ramir Johnson and where he's at and what we've asked him to do, the different phases as far as running down and being a gunner on the punt team, being on the starting kickoff team, being on the starting kickoff return team, and on that phase he's going to be blocking people. So everything that we do, he is a huge part of right there. And that also is a trickle-down effect from the head coach to the position coach, because the running back room is outstanding. That comes down because of what we have from Coach Frost, and it comes down from what we have from Coach Applewhite as far as what he's expected in the room and how he pushes those guys in the room. And we have the same thing going on with all positions, but the same thing has really happened where we've made a huge jump for us is in the wide receiver room. As far as that, Mickey's done an unbelievable job. Coach Joseph, an unbelievable job of having his guys ready for when they need to be in special teams and what they're doing. And they have performed at a very high level with a lot of energy, because we need offensive guys that can run down and tackle. It can't just be defenders that do that. And so we got to be able to have running backs and wide receivers that can do that. Tight ends fit into their mode right there. Coach Becton is off the charts with what he gets done with us, how he coaches the position. Our assistant coaches are incredible. And it takes a whole unit of coaches to be able to get them ready. Yes, I organize it. I'm the one that's in charge of it, but our assistant coaches are lights out, and I feel it's going to be a big difference for us.
There you hear Coach Bill Busch, the special teams coach, special teams coordinator. We've got one now at Nebraska after practice there today. And again, he started with Ramir, really started to give love to the whole coaching staff, something that was echoed today by a few different people. They're pretty excited about the new coaching staff getting going. In fact, Gabe Irvin said the new offensive coaching staff was night and day compared to last year. So Nick was kind of calling out the last year's offensive coaching staff toward the end. He says he wasn't. He got called out for it. But it seems like even within that locker room, they're getting going. And it's just a more bonding, more like it's all the offseason stuff you hear about, but it seems to be real this time. They're kind of getting together. There's at least resurgent energy, back into the program. It's not like, okay, here we go again. Somehow this isn't working, but maybe something different will happen. It's okay. We've addressed these things. We brought professionals into the room to get this work done. Here's Bill Busch more talking about Ramir Johnson on the front line blocking.
He is. And so what's impressive about that is Ramir was the returner last year. So when he got moved, but some people wouldn't think this, that when he got moved from returner to frontline, that's a promotion is what that is. That's a promotion. That means that's what you think of somebody when you move them up there like that. And that's why he's up there. And I gave the talk the other day how hard he works. But we had a time in spring last year and the drill got over and the first thing he did was ran by me and he said they had 4 reps. He goes, Coach, 4 for 4. Like that. So it meant something to make sure he blocks his guy at that. So like I said, but again, all the way down through it to the person who's stepping up that's looking good on special teams for us in all phases like that is also Gabe Irvin doing a great job for us. So you keep hearing running back names keep coming up in different things. They're covering kicks. They're blocking for people. They're also running. They're doing all phases just like that receiver room is, just like the DB room is like that. So I said I went heavy on offense because sometimes those guys don't show up as much. But Coach Fisher on the defense for us, right, is doing an unbelievable job having his guys ready to go. Coach Root is such a huge part. Those linebackers are ginormous for us. They all those starting linebackers will be starting on special teams in some phase for us, so that's great. And then in most places, guys, you don't get the defensive coordinator, which is Coach Shenander. They usually like that in most places. They just step off during special teams, and they're kind of on the sideline, kind of hanging out because Coach Chins is out there with me for every single drill. What do you need done? How do you need to coach him? I give them assignments. It's executed well. So I'm just telling you again, offense and defensive assistant coaches are kicking ass, and I appreciate it.
There you go. That's again Bill Busch from the podium today, and it seems to be a little bit more of a group effort. And again, that's fantastic. I mean, because we're not the only ones that can sit back and address these problems that Nebraska's had. Clearly, special teams has been part of that. Shenander's done a spectacular job with that defense over the years. In fact, I always argue I'm not sure if Coach Frost would still be here if not for Coach Shenander and what he's done on that defensive side of the ball. But to jump in and help out on special teams, you hear all these names. It's not, a bunch of, guys, with all respect, because this is a way that it can be done. You'll see a group of walk-ons out there. You'll see a group of backups out there. But you heard that all the starting linebackers, the running backs, Gabe Urban getting in there. Maybe they're not starting. That running back position is going to be kind of interesting. We can address here in a minute. But you have to feel like the buy-in on special team is certainly there. So if it continues to be a disaster, it won't be a lack of effort. It won't be a lack of addressing it. And that seems to be, they've said in years past, we're addressing it here and this and that. And it hasn't worked out, but you've never seen them change quite like that. C-Money on the text line, by the way, says, holy cow, he's a smooth talker. Sign me up for special teams.
Sign me up for special teams too. I think you said it perfectly, Bach. When it comes down to it, like, they're putting themselves in a position to be successful. There's nothing else that you can want, and that's why this just follows the trend, and I brought it up to you, and there were kind of a list of things that Nebraska fans had that needed to be changed, that needed to be adjusted for you to have confidence in this team, confidence in Coach Frost. Obviously, coaching was a big one. That's been addressed. Quarterback, for what it's worth, when Adrian Martinez, I know there are people that wanted him to possibly stay. Obviously, a lot of us wanted him to move on. I think that it was best that mutually they decided to part. Okay, you want to get a starter in the portal. Not only did you get a starter in the portal, you got the Big 12 leader in touchdown passes. Okay, defensive line looks like it might struggle a little bit. Your defense could possibly regress. Some type of change, especially when Casey Rogers decided he was going to transfer. Oh my gosh, the world is crumbling. Well, you got arguably the best pass rusher in the transfer portal, and then you added some additions on the interior, a couple that have played at the Power 5 level. Okay, that's been addressed. Now we got to look at the skill positions. You're losing some pieces. There hasn't really been too much like next level talent at the skill positions. Okay, let's dive into the portal. Let's get a former 5-star in Trey Palmer. Let's add to the already loaded, and I'll use that quote-unquote loaded running back room because I know a lot of Husker fans who wanted a 1,000-yard rusher. I'll use that quote-unquote loaded just because of the sheer numbers that they have. Okay, that's been addressed. Now let's look at the special teams. Listen, I don't know if it's going to look better on the field, and I'm not going to guarantee that it will because at the end of the day, these are 19 and 20-year-old kids, and a lot of things can happen and a lot of things can change very rapidly. You're putting in an effort. You're trying. For crying out loud, if I see Luke Reimer on special teams, hey, I'm pretty excited. Is it going to work out? I have no clue. Will he get hurt? I pray to God that he doesn't. But hell, at least they're giving it a shot, right? For crying out loud, you have one of the best tacklers, if not a possible all Big Ten selection this season, playing on special teams. That has to get you excited. I think this coaching staff and this program has done everything that they've been asked to up to this point. I really do. And if you're not buying the Kool-Aid, that's okay. I understand you've been hurt. A lot of things need to happen for us to be headed in the right direction. Let's go.
Yeah.
This just adds to it. It's got to.
As I've said before, of your 5 or 6 issues that stand out, and again, offensive line, special teams, quarterback play, all those things, you need 2 or 3 of them to flip. You don't have to be the perfect team. Every team is going to have its faults. Every team's going to have, its downfalls that's going to have to overcome. Not everything's going to go according to plan. Not everything's going to be spectacular, but they've done a good job, I think, in each of those rooms, as you mentioned. And the other thing is too, with Trey Palmer, I know there's a lot of hype. The BTN guys were impressed with Trey Palmer. They were at practice today, and it's hard not to be. I mean, his confidence, he just exudes it. But the former 5-star thing, I'm not nearly as excited about as the fact that he's got a kick return for a touchdown at LSU. He's got a punt return for a touchdown at LSU. When we talk about how difficult it is to get an offensive tackle out of the portal. It is. Those guys stick. It's difficult to get an edge rusher out of the portal.
Offensive linemen
Nebraska
also don't
got
transfer
one.
that much.
Nebraska got, but it's tough to get an edge rusher. If that's
right.
your need heading into the portal, that's difficult to do. Nebraska was able to do it. That doesn't mean it's easy. Same thing with a special teams guy that can stand out. Not just like, oh, this guy maybe did okay in high school. Like, this guy's proven at the college level, at the SEC level. So I can't wait to see him as your primary punt returner is what it sounds like. They haven't exactly nailed that down, but I would be shocked if you're going to bench the guy that's already had a couple kick returns and a kick return and a punt return for a touchdown. Bill Busch also talked about the kickoff return and how that's kind of shaken out. So we'll play that here.
Anthony's doing really well for us, and we have our kickoff return is installed. We don't have every phase of it installed, but we do have the start of it installed. And obviously, like, the first thing I talk about is the toughest position to play on special teams is front line on kickoff return. It's extremely hard. And so the guys you pick to be up there are your real dudes. That's the part that's really hard. Then the next level for us right there, the fullback and the wings, they got to be able to put their face on people for us right there. And then we have to have guys that hit it in a vertical return and tough people like that are used to carrying the ball for ball security. That's why I've always enjoyed running backs at that position for us, because they're used to ball security like that. They're used to ball security like that. Other people can do it. We have other positions that are doing that, but I've always enjoyed that form like that, and they're used to being hit. They're used to being hit. They're used to being tackled. So that's always a big plus.
Hey, there you go. Bill Busch adding some insight.
And you know why he's entirely correct, Bach? Because I played kick return in high school. I was not kick returner. I played on the front line of the kick return.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, I know it's not college football, but kick return is the Wild West. Like, people already have a head start, and they're just looking to hit you.
Yeah, it's adult Red Rover, and it probably should be eliminated from the game
right
at some point.
No,
but it's not.
Like, it is what it is.
They've reduced it. I mean, it's not as important as it used to be. I mean, a lot of these are fair caught. Take the ball or whatever. It is.
It's still the Wild West there.
It is,
the
though.
trenches,
I mean,
I'll tell you,
it's still adult Red Rover. There's no other way to explain.
First-hand experience, obviously not at the Power 5 level or even in college football, but like, it is not an easy position. I'll tell you that much. And it's honestly exciting for me that you have guys, starters, by what it sounds like, that are saying, I want to play. I want to be there. I want to play there. Throw me in that position. Like, that's, at least in my understanding, from what I've seen from the outside, that's Nebraska in a nutshell. Guys that want to hit, that want to be hit. Like, that's where Nebraska's bread and butter is. And that's where you find success.
You better, if you're playing in the Big Ten, you better, if you're playing, especially in the Big Ten West, embrace the contact. Now,
absolutely.
The other thing he didn't mention with the running backs, as he talked about his kick returners, is making a guy miss. My God, has that been a struggle for the returners for Nebraska? It's like the first guy that gets through, there's only 11 guys out on the field. Like, you have to make one man miss. And running backs obviously are a little bit more experienced in doing that as well. So it's interesting. I mean, it's a bit dangerous. Guys can go down. Guys can get hurt. It's kind of your typical video game strategy, right? Put your starting running back there as a kick returner. Sometimes it makes sense, though. And I think in a season where they're all in and they're trying to completely flip, and that's what the feeling is here, too. It's not like, well, we like what this guy or that guy did, so we're going to add a few wrinkles here on special teams. It's like, no, we're flipping the attitude.
It's all hands on deck. The culture is being changed.
Yeah. And again, there's going to be guys like Phelan Sanford. Don't take that guy off special teams. There's guys that don't fit the starter, that kind of starter or all hands on deck type of role, in that are good, that have embraced that role, and will continue to be used well on special teams too. So unfortunately, as fun as we're having, because Bill Busch is just spectacular, at least on the mic. I can't wait to see what he does on the field this year. We got to take a break. But football is back. I don't care what Nate says. The Hall of Fame game is here tonight. So you get to watch some football. And by the way, I'm as big a college football fan as there is compared to the NFL. I like the NFL too, but I'm more of a college football fan. There's going to be some interesting preseason games. There always is. You get those few possessions. I don't think it's happened tonight because I don't think Trevor Lawrence is playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But as you get into it, there's some interesting. Okay, what's this first round pick doing? What's going on there? Guys fighting for roster spots. So don't disrespect the preseason, okay?
I'm not disrespecting it.
You already did.
No. I'm just saying football's not back quite yet.
Oh, it's back. It's back tonight, the Hall of Fame game. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Ticket Water Cooler with more Husker football talk. That's what you love. That's what we love, too. We'll do it next.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Gus Cottle. The Millard South Patriots defeated Creighton Prep 4-3 to win their first American Legion Baseball State Tournament since 1988. After losing to Creighton Prep 8-0 and 14-0 during the A1 District Tournament, Millard South was able to meet Creighton Prep again in the state championship and claim the title. Millard South advances to the Central Plains Regional next week as the Nebraska champion. The runner-up, Creighton Prep, will also compete in the regional in Rapid City, South Dakota. Peyton Engel and Drew Miller both led Waverly to a large 17-9 win over Ogallala to claim the Class B Legion State Baseball Tournament. Engel went 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs and a pair of extra base hits, while Miller had 3 hits and drove in 4. Waverly tallied 15 hits in total. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
The dog days of summer are here. Is your yard in need of a touch-up as we head into the fall season? August, September, and October are the months for aeration, and Penner Sprinkler and Lawn is the place to call to get the job done right. If you're noticing any issues with your sprinkler system through the hot summer months, they're always a call away, and they're already scheduling installs for sprinkler systems for next year and all other lawn care needs. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Warhorse Casino is bringing winning opportunities to Lincoln. Get in on the action at our next job fair, Tuesday, August 9th from 3 to 7 at the RBC Event Space, 5721 Johanna Road. We are hiring trailblazers in every department: beverage servers, slot, custodial, security, and more. Every employee is treated like family, and every role is essential in creating a one-of-a-kind experience. For information on openings and job fairs, go to warhorsecasino.com.
Local broadcasters make a difference in their communities every day. You can learn more about becoming a broadcaster by attending the Lincoln Area Broadcasters Career Fair with 93.7 The Ticket on Tuesday, August 9th at the Embassy Suites in Lincoln. Learn more about the numerous exciting jobs in broadcasting available right now here in town, on the air and behind the scenes. Bring your resume and be ready to apply. Visit the 93.7 The Ticket booth at the Lincoln Area Broadcasters Job Fair Tuesday, August 9th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Embassy Suites in Lincoln. We'll see you there.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
My computer was a dinosaur, and our TV, well, let's just say it was definitely time for an upgrade. But finding a way wasn't so simple. And then I found it, a research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. I earned cash for the study and was able to make those much-needed upgrades. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
We stand on the shoulders of women who came before us.
Women who fought for their own financial futures.
And now it's our turn.
Join us. Visit WeSaySaveIt.org and take control of your financial future by saving for retirement.
A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, Steve. Welcome to Great Clips. Great Clips asks, what's the difference between good and great?
Come on back and have a seat.
Good asks you what haircut you'd like.
I have all your details from last time. Would you like the same haircut today?
Great already knows. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details so you can get the same thing as last time, every time. Download our online check-in app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler. Brought to you by Culligan of Lincoln on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Do you approve of this one?
I approve of this one. This is much better than jump around.
I still think we need to take it back. Because I was trying to think of songs that they play at the stadiums. Because, like, Jump Around's played at basically every stadium, but for some reason, Wisconsin claims it.
Oh, yeah, they really took it over. They did. I'm sorry. Do you think they still play this one?
Yeah. You tell me they don't play this? They definitely play this.
I don't know, definitely in, like, the 80s, yeah. But
they definitely play this.
It's
What's the other one, like, oh, yeah. No, I don't know what that one is. That one's good, too.
Hey! This is the Ticket Water Cooler here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. And we got a better rejoin in there. I like it better than that jump around from Wisconsin. So we've been talking Husker football. It's been a great day. Again, BTN was in town for the Husker football practice. We had guys like Bill Busch and Barrett Ruud and a couple of the players as well as running backs coach. So that we've got a lot of guys talking to the media today. Unfortunately, that won't talk during the season, but they do a good job of pumping this team up, and it's kind of exciting as we keep going on through that. We'll continue with their quotes throughout the day. But Nate, you did have something you wanted to talk about, something that I'm not necessarily too high on because I think it's absolutely silly. But win probability, according to the Football Power Index.
You know, FBI, I love me some FBI.
I know you do. I don't, because I think it's absolutely silly, especially preseason, to start with win probabilities when you haven't even seen the teams play. But in any case, let's go through the win probabilities for Nebraska. Obviously, early in the season, it's going to be pretty good. Do you have it pulled up in front of you?
I do.
I don't have it in front
you
of
want me to go through it?
Yeah.
So you want me to
go game by game here?
Do you want to go game by game, or you want me to list through all of them?
No, let's just go game by game.
All right, game by game. So starting August 27th versus Northwestern, obviously in Dublin. Previous meeting, Nebraska would win 56-7 against Northwestern in the series history.
Let me guess. 82%.
You're close. And in series history, Nebraska is 9-6. Northwestern ranks 81st in opponent FPI. Win probability for Nebraska?
79%.
78.7.
78.7. Hey. I feel pretty good about that one. I mean, it's obviously
a hell of a prediction over there.
Yeah, I expect to beat down Northwestern. Keep in mind, Northwestern's addressed their field goal problem, so I think that they're going to get a couple field goals.
All right, so I was about to say, so instead of losing, 45-6, so you did have them losing 45-3, but they'll get like a 42-yarder.
I gave them a couple of field goals instead of a touchdown. I originally had 7, and I thought, you know what? I like their field goal kicking unit this year, so I'll give them some field goals.
I'm giving them a touchdown.
I know
I got 38-10.
You got a passing touchdown? You think Evan Hull's going to get across the goal line for him?
It'll be like a garbage touchdown at the end. Nebraska will be winning 38-3 with like 7 minutes left in the game. Northwestern will have a 6.5-minute drive ending in a touchdown.
Spectacular.
38-10. If that's not Big Ten football, I don't know what is. September 3rd.
By the way, we're going through this. So we're talking with Nick in the hallway too. Is a win's a win. Yes, but at the same time, if they beat down Northwestern like we predict, you're going to get fired up. You're going to believe that they've turned the corner.
We're back.
If they slide by Northwestern, you're not feeling that great. Still, I mean, you're still probably going to get hype going into the Oklahoma game, and certainly, hopefully, take care of business the next 2 weeks. Don't get me wrong, but that's kind of what VJ was saying today too. Like, if you're playing Georgia Southern, hang 50 on them. Like, let's get this. Let's start be convincing. And at the same time, they could be much better by the end of the year than they are at the start of the year, and they might struggle a little bit. Especially with all the changes, that certainly could happen, as I've been saying all offseason. But obviously, preferably, there's definitely a different feel if they beat down Northwestern as compared to squeaking out a win.
Again, that's how it should filter out, at least when it's all said and done, we would assume, but you never really know. All right, September 3rd versus North Dakota. They are not ranked in the opponent FBI. Previous meeting in 1961, Nebraska would shut out North Dakota with a 33-0 win. Series history, that is their only matchup. Nebraska is 1-0. Win probability, what do you predict?
96%?
Close. 98.4% for Nebraska. So if the trend is how it says it is, Nebraska will be 2-0 going into the September 10th meeting versus Georgia Southern. Opponent FBI, Georgia Southern, comes in at 103rd. This is actually their first meeting, so Nebraska doesn't have a win, nor do they have a loss against Georgia Southern. Interpret that however you please. Win probability.
Still got to be in the 90s. Let's say 92%.
That is ding, ding, ding. I wish we had a dinger
go.
on there. Yeah, ding, 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 ding. 92% win
Boom,
probability.
shakalaka.
I love the boom shakalaka. So at this point in time, we are sitting at 3-0. How we predict. I probably have to agree with you when these games are played. I mentioned it. I think it was Tuesday when it was Nate Dogg Tuesday.
We're changing name to Kool-Aid Nate, right?
Kool-Aid Nate. That is right. Kool-Aid
Nate.
Like, if it's halftime and Nebraska is tied with Northwestern 10-10, or even if it's like 13-17-10 Nebraska, I know a win's a win, and however the game ends up, you win the game. Sure, to an extent, yes. But after how last season shaped out, with how much pressure is on this season and kind of what needs to happen for us to consider this a successful season, to retain Scott Frost, to believe in this team, this program, that doesn't feel right to me. Like any of these first 3 games on the schedule, they need to be blowouts. And I hate that because I'm not a big fan of must-wins until you get into, I don't know, week 8, 9, 10, whatever have you. Like, this is probably the first time in history I'm going to say that a week 0 game, this is probably a must-win. Like, just the way that the season's going to filter out, the morale, the fan base's excitement, like everything that goes into this season that we are buying and drinking the Kool-Aid for, I think might go out the window if you lose week 0.
Well, I mean, you're certainly going to lose fan belief until you prove otherwise. But I still will say that I hold out hope that if you do lose to Northwestern, you can correct it by beating Oklahoma. I mean, you can.
That's a lot of pressure, though.
It is. Well, yeah, there's a lot of pressure on you right now. I mean, there's a lot of pressure altogether.
Right.
You're going to have to get an impressive victory. At some point, if you're Scott Frost, you've got to get a victory that stands out. So this, again, I love the guy and love, everybody that gets involved in this. Well, I shouldn't say everybody. There's some bad guys out there. But, I love college football. But at the end of the day, it's not A for effort. It's not, it's not low pressure situation. There's a lot of money being thrown around, even more now. So even to the athletes. So there's pressure. You can feel bad for guys for that or whatever, but they jumped into this business and, they're in the situation that they're in and they're well paid for it.
It's what you signed up for, especially with NIL now. Like, that's just kind of what comes with it, is you're going to have higher expectations, more pressure. All right, September 17th, the game everyone has been looking forward to, the game that I have dubbed a win, and I'm tired of automatically chalking up a loss. Nebraska will host the Oklahoma Sooners. They come in as the opponent FBI rank of 8. Previous meeting, everyone remembers it last season. Oklahoma would win 23-16. Looked good. Nebraska fans thought maybe that was a turning point. Maybe it's something to build off of. Unfortunately, that obviously didn't work out, but it gave you a little bit of hope going into this season. In the series history, Oklahoma 46-38-3. So 3 ties in there. Make that a note. So maybe they'll tie this year. I don't know. I don't even know if that's possible to do in today's college football.
No.
I think it's actually literally impossible. But for what it's worth, there have been 3 ties. Win probability, predict it. It is going to be Oklahoma, which rightfully probably so. They are projected to be the favorite.
And by the way, Oklahoma projected to win every game this year. There's 6 teams across the country that are projected to win every game this year.
Like FBI wise.
Yeah. Or
Really?
according to Vegas, I think was the idea. That was Oregon, or not Oregon, excuse me, Utah, Oklahoma.
A lot of people are buying Utah.
Alabama. Well, yeah, I mean, they're coming off the Pac-12 championship, looked in dominating ways against Oregon, who's got a new coach. USC, I mean, we'll see. But, so
good against Ohio State last year,
Air
too.
Force favored in every game this year.
I'm buying Air Force.
Triple option offense.
I'm always buying Air
There
Force.
you go. I think the win probability here is for Nebraska. Let's go about 40%, somewhere around there.
Very, very close. 39.5%.
Oh, yeah. Round that up.
So I think, for a team that's coming off of
Boom,
3,
shakalaka.
yeah, I mean, I would consider, round up. We're rounding up
That's
here
right.
on the water cooler. I think for what it's worth, that seems about right.
Yeah.
I think that should make you excited too. Like, if you look at it just strictly wins-loss, which I don't usually like to do, you guys know that I love to dive a little bit deeper into that 3-9 record. If you just look at their records last season, how it shaped out, In no way, shape, or form should Nebraska preseason. Granted, this is if Nebraska starts 3-0 and you told me this, okay, sure, fine. Preseason, after what we saw last year, and whatever you want to interpret as happening this year, that the FPI uses their model, their formula, whatever have you, 39.5%. I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
It makes me excited. I'm ready to go.
For what it's worth, too, I saw this. The Oklahoma Athletic Department received a record $109 million in total donations and pledges for the fiscal year 2022.
Wow.
That broke their previous record of $58 million. So they blew it out. Maybe that has to do with NIL, whatever. They had the best spring game attendance in Oklahoma. Say what you will about Brent Venables and not having head coach experience and all the changes on the roster. Oklahoma is bought in as a state, as the support around that program. So that'll be kind of interesting to see where
Nebraska was bought in on Scott Frost in year one.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win or anything, but certainly would be special for Nebraska to get that victory over
Fans
Boone
like
Sooner.
it. I also like that it's at home, too. All right, October 1st, there's going to be a bye week in between. This is where it gets interesting because we've said here that Nebraska, there's no reason they shouldn't start 4-1 at the worst. And the FPI agrees. So Indiana is going to be their opponent. Opponent FPI rank, they come in at 68th. The previous meeting in 2019, Nebraska fans, you probably remember this one pretty well. Indiana would win 38-31. Series history, believe it or not, Indiana is ahead in this. 10-8-3.
Gross.
So again, there's that 3 ties. Again, hey, maybe they'll
The
tie.
anti-rival.
Who knows? Maybe they'll tie. But Indiana does lead the series. Win probability.
I think you're feeling pretty good about that one. Again, being at home, I think you'd have to go into like 63% or something.
Bump it up. Bump it
man.
way up. 84%.
84%.
84%.
My goodness.
They beat the hell out of Indiana. Here's where it gets interesting, too, because this is my prediction, and I've told you guys about it a few times here in the water cooler. Sprinkled it in a little bit on the block, too, and told Strick my thoughts. I think Nebraska's 5-0. I think Nebraska's the 16th ranked team in the country going on the road against Rutgers on a Friday night, different time zone, halfway across the country. For what it's worth, Rutgers, 82nd in the FPI rank. Their last meeting, Nebraska would win in 2020. If you guys remember that one, they would win 28-20 in series history. Another thing that this is going to be a graphic the entire week. Game day is going to be saying, oh, these Nebraska Cornhuskers 5-0, ranked for the first time in however long you want to say. I don't know. When's the last time they were ranked? Adrian's sophomore year?
Yeah.
Was that when it was? Ranked for the first time in 3 years. All right, we're buying the Cornhuskers. And then they're going to throw up this graphic, Bach, and it's going to drive me nuts. Series history, Nebraska, 5-0.
There you go.
5-0.
Take that, birthplace of college football.
It worries me. I'm not going to lie. It scares me. Win probability. What do you think?
Oh, I think you still, despite all your worries there,
I'm worried.
not too worried, especially if Gavin Wimsatt doesn't take over. I mean, and he didn't look good in his, I mean, he's all they got. I mean, they basically, we'll see what they have with Noah Vettel. They're struggling to score 20 points. I just don't worry too much about him. I would say Nebraska's win probably has got to be in the 80s again. I'll go with 82%.
Not quite. It is Nebraska 72.4%.
On
So
the
a little
road,
bit lower, but again, on the road, Friday night, so they are still favored. So if you guys are following us now, according to the FBI, Nebraska will start 5-1.
Well, that's a good place to start. We've still got 6 more games to go
5-1.
through. Admittedly,
You're still going to like it. Again, we'll
more
tease
difficult
this.
in the back
We'll tease it. It'll be a little bit more difficult. But I think if you're a Nebraska fan, you're going to like how the second half of the season shapes out for the FPI. I think you're going to like it.
Win probabilities are silly, but we'll continue the silliness coming up next year on the Ticket Water Cooler, 93.7 The Ticket.
My computer was a dinosaur, and our TV, well, let's just say it was definitely time for an upgrade. But finding a way wasn't so simple. And then I found it. A research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. I earned cash for the study and was able to make those much-needed upgrades. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Jared Talmadge is in the building. Talk about getting into a player's head. How did you know you had it?
Well, you knew you had him when he was crying to the refs, or if you were watching and he was crying to his, and I say crying, but just whining. whining about something you were doing, and then back in the huddle, and he's eyeballing you. If he's paying attention to you instead of listening to his plays and listening to what he should be doing.
Weekdays from 11 to 2 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is searching for mechanics of all skill levels to grow with us. Landmark offers a competitive wage, full benefits package, along with paid time off within just 60 days of employment, as well as a 401k and a boot and clothing allowance. Interested in becoming a part of the Landmark difference? Apply now at landmarkimp.com/careers or contact Deanna 402-310-7561 or email careers@landmarkimp.com. That's landmarkimp.com. Landmark Implement is an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop, but you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order your Wingstop online at 28th and Superior, 50th and O Street, and 29th and Pine Lake. There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Here's to days spent roaming, and to sleeping beneath the stars, to casting another line and letting time float by. From Shadron State Park to Indian Cave State Park and every recreation area, historical and state park in between. Here's to your adventures, your memories. Here's to going out and enjoying your Nebraska state parks. Plan your next trip today at yournebraskaparks.org. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com. James Enterprise Incorporated, that company that hauls your gravel, rocks, and material for your farm or construction site, says thank you to the people of the healthcare community for putting yourself in the way of danger to save the public. That is what it means to be a hero and to build a beautiful legacy. This message brought to you by James Enterprise Incorporated. For all your hauling of rock, gravel, and materials, call them at 402-432-6740. That's 402-432-6740.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money. But like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler. Brought to you by Culligan of Lincoln on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the Ticket Water Cooler as we're going through the season. According to the FBI, figuring out what Nebraska record is going to be. Of course, on the block is coming up next. Strick is traveling, but I think he's going to be able to tune in today. So we'll continue to cover the post-practice press conference. Bill Busch, Brian Applewhite, Barrett Ruud, some of the players spoke today. So we'll continue with that. But let's get back to our FPI predictions. A little bit, I think silly, but not as maybe as silly as I remember back in the day, Big Red Wrap-Up. I don't think they do this anymore, but they used to have, the college football game would come out every year. And so every year. And then before the week, they would always play simulate a game and just show it to you. And It was like PlayStation 2 graphics. It was just sweet.
Nice.
And I got fired up. And I don't think it ever really meant anything, but
bring it back.
It's part of what I liked looking forward to. So that's kind of what we're doing with these FPI predictions. Right now, we got Nebraska at 5-1 midway through.
5-1. Also going to give a shout out to Disc Golf Jake. He says, being that worried about Rutgers, I like you, Nate, but you're crazy. Disc Golf Jake, I'm telling you, I've got a weird feeling. I don't know what it is. I got a pit in my stomach. I think Nebraska's going to. I got a feeling. Ooh. That night will not be a good night because Nebraska's going to lose to Rutgers. I'm telling you, I hate to when College Game Day does that. They've never lost. Well, Nebraska's never lost to Rutgers, so that's what it's worth. Also, got to let you guys know, Disc Golf Jake was able to interview him earlier this week. I'm going to have a story tomorrow on 10-11 this morning. You're going to want to check it out. Jake? It's on Disc Golf, too. They're doing a lot of good stuff. They give back to the community, help some of the local.
Golf guy yourself?
I've never played. That was the first time I threw the Frisbee around. I had a drive, did a putt. It was pretty cool, too. So make sure you check that out. They're doing great stuff. Raising a lot of money for local nonprofits, too, which is just a really cool thing.
Disc golf's free.
Really cool thing. No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
So you just go out in the field, Disc Golf Jake, get him. He doesn't know.
I've played disc golf, 30 times in my life. I've never paid $1.
Well, you're scheming the system. Because people are trying to get back to local nonprofits, and you're just going around throwing the disc, Bach.
I don't know what you're talking about. Everybody goes out and plays disc golf for free on these courses.
All right, regardless, they're raising money for local nonprofits. They're doing great stuff over there. Okay. Sounds like you're scheming the system.
There's no scheming the system.
You're scheming the system. All right, let's continue with this because Nebraska's going undefeated, even if the FBI doesn't agree with it or not. They will play October 15th. That game will be at Purdue. Opponent FBI rank. Purdue comes in at 41. Previous meeting, you guys remember this one very well. Last season, Purdue would beat Nebraska 28-23 behind the 4 interceptions from Adrian Martinez. Series history, it's tied 5-5. What win probability you got?
I would think at this point Purdue's going to get the probability here. So maybe it still seems feels like pretty close to a toss up. Maybe 42%.
48.7.
Wow, they really
so
like
close. So that one's a toss up. But if we're going by the FPI, that puts Nebraska at 5-2. They will have a bye week after Purdue, and they'll face dreaded Brett Bielema in the Illinois Fighting Illini. Illinois comes in at 75th in the opponent FBI. Everyone remembers this game probably a little bit too well, a little bit why we're nervous for the Northwestern game. 30-22, Illinois would win last year. Series history, Nebraska leads 13-5-1. That dreaded tie. Win probability, what do you got, Bach?
Well, nobody's buying into Burt this year, and I don't know why. I'm a big Burt guy, but I guess I'll give Nebraska a pretty good probability here at home. I would think you're up into 76%.
83.5%. So Nebraska, by this standard, should smoke Illinois. We're sitting at 6-2. Everyone remember, this is when the schedule gets really tough. We start to get a little bit stressed out. That 6 mark would already get you to a bowl game, but you guys are going to like this one. This is the one I pointed out to Bach. November 5th, the Golden Gophers of Minnesota, they will travel to Lincoln, Nebraska. They come in at 40th on the opponent FPI rank. Last meeting, again, last year, you guys probably remember this pretty well because it's another game that Nebraska probably should have won. They would lose 30-23 to Minnesota. This series is also interesting. Minnesota leads 35-25 to 2 ties. Win probability. What do you got for me?
Well, this is culture versus skill here. So, no, I think, man, I don't know. That's a tough one. I would think that's kind of still the toss-up. This one's played in the Twin Cities, right?
Nope, it's played here.
Oh, this is played here. Okay.
Yep, it'll be at home.
I'd give you a 53% chance.
63.9%. 64% chance. So we're following the FPI. Bach, mark that down. That's 7-2. Your Nebraska Cornhuskers are 7-2. This is where it gets a little difficult. November 12th at Michigan. They come in at 6th on the FPI rank. Last year, Nebraska had a chance. Blame whoever you want, but they would end up losing by 3, 32-29. Series history, only play 11 times, believe it or not. Michigan holds the lead 6-4-1, another dreaded tie, and their win probability. They're not favored.
In the,
I will
in the
give they're not
Bussin'
favored.
Bowl, yeah. Let's go with, I mean, they were close last year, but I don't think that'll help too much. Let's go with 38%.
It hurts because they're on the road 20%. So
20%.
that one, yeah, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but it is what it is. We'll take the underdog roll. That puts you at 7-3. That's okay, Nebraska fans. Hold your horses because you're going to love this one too, and Bach's going to lose his mind because we're talking about, okay, no, not yet. I was about to say we're talking about the F team, not the F team yet. We're talking about Wisconsin. They will come to Lincoln, Nebraska, November 19th. You'll find out. We'll talk about the F team here in a second. Opponent FBI, they will come in the FBI rank at 21st. We all remember last year pretty well. I hate saying this because a lot of these games down the stretch, you're going to remember from last year because Nebraska probably should have won. Last year, a controversial call late. They would end up losing by a touchdown. 35-28, Wisconsin wins. The series, they've only played 15 times. Wisconsin leads 11-4. What say you, Jake Bach?
Well, this isn't Memorial Stadium, but Nebraska routinely gives up 200 yards rushing, and Braylon Allen's one of the best in the country. So I'd go back to, like 36% for Nebraska.
Chalk up that 8th win, my friend, because Nebraska comes in at 51.2%.
Oh my gosh. Throw this away. This whole thing
I've been telling you,
stupid.
I'm sick of Wisconsin.
Nebraska can't be favored against Wisconsin.
I'm sick of Wisconsin.
Oh
I'm sick of everyone hyping them up. They've got a new offensive coordinator. Their quarterback is still Graham Mertz. There's 3 quarterbacks on Nebraska's football roster. I would take over Graham Mertz right now. I'll take every single one. You know what? Throw Richard Torres on that list, too. I'll take 4 quarterbacks that played for the university. Give it 5. I've got 5 quarterbacks on Nebraska's roster that I would take over Graham Mertz. We're going to chalk that up as a W. That's 8-3. Now we get to the team, the F team. No, I'm not talking about the expletive word. I'm talking about fraudulent. This is the fraudulent Iowa Hawkeyes, number 2 seed in the country last year. Don't give me that. If I see another graphic where Iowa is in the college football playoff, I might lose myself. That'll be an interesting day on the water cooler. But Iowa comes in at 37th on the opponent FBI. They're 37th in the country. We all know it very, very well. I'll say it one last time because this is the last game of the season. Last year, Nebraska, with a redshirt freshman, would go into the 4th quarter with a dominant lead. You guys know how it would go. Not too well. They would end up losing by a touchdown. Iowa wins 28-21. Series history, don't you guys worry. Nebraska has that one covered. 29-20-3. 3 more ties. That's a trend. Notice.
How'd the last 7 go?
That's a lot. Hey, you watch it. 29-20-3. Nebraska has that lead. So Jake Bachman, or what do they call you? The Bach-eye. Bach-eye, Bach. Right. Bach-eye, Bach. What say you for the win probability?
Well, if they're going to predict Nebraska to beat Wisconsin, this whole thing is just a sham and stupid anyways. But with the win probability against Iowa at Kinnick, Black Friday, I can't believe it'd be too much. I don't even know what to do after that, Wisconsin. I don't know. 46%.
Give yourself a boom shakalaka.
Hey, there we go.
46.5%.
Hey, I kind of like this.
So I will give
kind of think like
46.5%. I don't like it because I was hoping that they would filter it out. They'd give me that 9-3 that I've been calling. But we'll take 8-4 for Nebraska fans. And I tell you what, right now, Spencer Petras, throw him on the list that I've got 5 quarterbacks at the University of Nebraska that I'm taking over him. Fraudulent team. If I'm not kidding. If I see them in another playoff graphic, I'm going to lose myself. I'm going to lose my mind. The fact they were ever put in a playoff graphic, I'm not talking about just, maybe Iowa could make it there. There was a graphic that had Iowa in the playoff.
They're the number 2 team in the nation. What did you want?
Nope. I don't want to hear it.
They broke Michael Penix.
8-4.
They broke Brock Purdy. They never recovered.
They broke them. Come on, Bach. Get out of here.
They broke
8-4 Nebraska fans. That's your FPI prediction.
Yeah, with a victory over Wisconsin. Tells you that whole thing's stupid. But I still like following along with it and enjoy doing that. So thanks, Nate. We've got plenty more coming up on the block here with Eric Strickland, the man, the myth, the legend. He's coming up next year on the block is next on 93.7 The Ticket.